All right, well, welcome to our presentation on translation memory. I'm Stacy Brown Summers from MindLink Resources, and hoping to just go through some information with you today about an important topic. And I think a lot of people are sometimes we throw a lot of information out at linguists and it's easy to get lost. So what we want to do in these webinars is talk through them and give you some good information and answer any questions that you might have. So as I'm talking, if you do have questions, you can go ahead and put them in the group chat. If you are watching this after the fact, then you are welcome to send us an email or put a comment on the video below, since this will be posted on YouTube, and we would love to address those. But what I want to do today is talk about translation memory, which is, let's see if I can do a full. I don't know, word changes so much, it's hard. But anyway, I'm just going to talk about some real basics about what memory is and how you can use it. You can see here I have our friend Dory to help us go through this information. And any of you who have kids can relate to Dory. Oh, looks like I have some folks trying to get on. Let me help them, and we'll be in good shape. Okay, cool. All right, cool. So yes, Dory has a problem. She has no short-term memory, or she has short-term memory loss. And so, I thought of her with memory because, a lot of times we have so much going on. We rely on our brains to do a good job, and we live in a world you just can't rely on that, because there are so many distractions and stress and things in your life swimming around, just like Dory. You can't count on quality when you just rely on your mind. And I think there's this kind of sense after you get out of school, because in school you are taught to retain information and take tests where you have no resources, no ability to look anything up. You're just supposed to have it in your own mind and be able to provide that content. And I think that's a great skill to have when you're in school, but it just doesn't reflect in real life, because if you aren't using the resources that you have available to you, and you're just relying on your mind, there's a lot of things you can miss, and you just can't really count on that quality. So that's why we have what we call translation memory. So I'm going to talk about that today. As you can see, our brains have so much swimming around. You can't count on quality when you're trying to just depend on your own mind when providing translation, editing, QA, or almost any linguistic task. As well as your language, there's always nuances and terminology and things that you'll need help on. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So by understanding what translation memory is and how it works, linguists can use it effectively to provide better outcomes for their clients. So the first thing to talk about is, what is translation memory? And I think people oftentimes confuse translation memory with machine translation. Now, machine translation is what we call things like Google Translate. So if I were to go and put this sentence into Google Translate, I'm going to do it now just for fun. Now, and understand Google Translate does have its merits as a resource, but it is a resource. It is not the end-all, be-all for providing this. So if I were to take this sentence and put it into Google Translate, and we'll take it into Italian. So in English, it says, our brains have so much swimming around, you can't count on quality. So this does kind of say our brain has a swimming pool, a lot around. You can't count on qualità. They just put the on in there. So yeah, it's kind of a little bit, you get the gist of what it's trying to say, but it definitely says it in a strange way that is not conducive to understanding, true understanding. So that is Google Translate. And what I'm going to do here is change. I'm just going to fix my screen sharing here. Hi, everybody. So that I'm sharing my entire screen so you can really follow what I'm doing. Okay, so here's Google Translate, where I translated it into Italian from Google, and it messed up the formatting, and the capitals are all kind of weird, and there's words on here for fornendo, for providing. You know, it doesn't read well. So that's machine translation. But on the other side, you do get the gist of it. Okay, so the difference is, the difference is with translation memory, you take another tool, a computer aided, and I'm going to pull one up called Wordfast, which isn't always the one we use at MindLink, but it is one we do use quite frequently. Just to give you the gist. Now, there are a lot of computer-aided translation tools out there. Wordfast is just one of them. And so you can kind of see here, I think Wordfast has a nice way to show you how translation memory works, right? So if I had a project, I'm just going to pull up an old project that I've done before. Okay, here it is. It's in Swedish. And you can see, you know, there's translation that this has already been translated, right? But what happened is the person who translated it, some had help. And while they were translating, and that's where you see these scores here, 100% means this string matches exactly what is in the translation memory. The translation memory is set up here. And sometimes a client might provide a translation memory, right? And what we do is we connect the memory to the text, and then this provides a score. So if you see 95, it means 95% of the string matches what was said in the translation memory. So probably in this case, there's a couple of words here that don't. And it's nice for QA too, because you can kind of say, well, why is it 95%? And be able to check that out. You know, here is another example. It's 75%, probably because that's still in English. So the translation memory gives you a score that you can go back and reflect on and work with. And so again, you know, the translation memory is connected to this project. And as you're typing in, and unfortunately I don't know Swedish, so I would show you if I did. As you're typing in, they'll actually come up and recommend words that are going to help you do that. So I don't know if that helps explain what translation memory is versus machine. Machine is more of, again, just having a computer do the translation for you. And translation memory is essentially a computer aiding you in providing translation. Does that make sense? So we already popped in and looked at Wordfast for translation memory. And the question of when should you use translation memory, if you're translating any document, I highly recommend it. And I've seen people, especially newer translators, that will just pull up Word and look at the source and just try to type out what they see in Word. And I really strongly discourage that approach, because you're going to have a lot of quality issues and you have nothing that's going to help you. The cool thing about memory is if I translate this word action settings and, you know, say this is an extremely long document, or, you know, here's an example, workflow settings, and here it comes up again. The cool thing with when you use machine translation, you really only have to translate this one time. instead of having to go through every time it comes up and translate it again. And a lot of times when you have to do that, like if you were just translating into Word with Word only, you run into a scenario where you could forget when you're like 10 pages in what you said before and have some inconsistencies in the document. And, you know, it doesn't create the most efficient, effective method. So watch for those kind of things. That's a big value that you get in translation memory by using it effectively. So I would say always use translation memory as much as you can. And how do you use it? You have to use what they call a computer-aided translation tool, which is what I'm showing you with Wordfast. The cool thing with Wordfast is it's free. So if you are a new translator and don't want to invest in a bunch of tools, this is a great one to just get started using. My team is probably wondering why I'm promoting Wordfast, but that is the reason. It's because it's free and a new translator can get in and kind of get the concepts with working. Now, it's not totally free because it has a limit on how many words that you can do. But if you do start getting that volume of translation, then you can upgrade to a different tool. And one of the most common ones you'll see is Trados. And Trados is a very robust tool for providing translation. At MindLink, we use one called WordBee. And I will give you a look at that, how the, cancel this. Let's see here, wordbeetranslator.com. Okay, so and some of you who have worked with us before have also used WordBee. Now, what we do in WordBee is we actually come here to resources, and you'll see translation memory. And this is actually, you can see how many I have in here. And so when you have a translation memory, we put it in here for the specific language. And then whenever somebody is working on a project using that language, they can pull up that memory and, you know, rely on that to improve the quality. So we have just this whole system and database of memory that we use, you know, whenever is needed. So then let me show you on a job. Let's see, I'm trying to show an old job that we've done. Actually, maybe I'll show you a new job that we just are putting out there. Okay. Okay, so if I have a job here, okay, sorry. This should look familiar since we already looked at Wordfast. So it's in that bilingual form. You have the source, the English on your left, and you'll have the translation text on your right. And so as soon as I hit this, you know, if there are similar words in the memory, it will show up here. Since this is a new document we're doing, I don't see anything over here showing up. But you just kind of keep an eye over here, and you should see little phrases. And once you've done about, you know, 5 or 10 strings, it'll remember the words that you typed before and recommend them throughout the document. So, you know, it's something very handy. It's something that is very valuable for clients, because a lot of clients will build a memory and insist on the linguist using that memory. And so you have to really pay attention there. So that's an example of another tool. Okay. So, hey, it's me again. So basically with the translation memory, you know, you find it in any computer-aided translation tool that is out there. And the reason it's important for all translators to know about this is because a lot of companies and a lot of agencies will actually use it to set pricing with the translators. The thinking is that, you know, the translators, and some of this is because, the agencies kind of caught up with, or not the agencies, the clients caught up with what the agencies were doing. So, about the late 90s, a few agencies discovered this concept of translation memory. And what they were doing is working with clients and saying, oh, you need this document updated every year. And so they were having the clients pay them every year. But then what they were doing is having their linguists only do the updates. So they didn't even do, half of it. So basically they were double, triple charging their clients for it's kind of a nice gig if you can get it. But now most clients know about translation memory, and what it's resulted in is agencies providing actual discounts for what they call fuzzy matches. And some of you may have heard this term, fuzzy matches, and it's kind of a funny word, but if you remember in Wordfast, I showed you, where there was like a 95% or a 75% score. That's what they're talking about with a fuzzy match. So anything less than 100. So what some companies have done is the closer the match, the more the job is discounted. So if it's 100% match, it's a lot of agencies or companies say, we're not going to pay for 100% match. We already have those words in there, but we will pay a discounted rate for 75% matches or 50% matches. And of course, no match is where you can charge the full translation rate if you're doing a quote by word. And so offering discounts for fuzzy matches is a nice way to, show good faith with your agency or your client. But the reality is, or if you're accepting a job and the client has given you fuzzy matches, but then you're not, or has insisted on you providing discounts for fuzzy matches, but then you're not using the translation memory as a tool when you're doing the translation, basically you're getting kind of ripped off because you're providing it as a or a no match translation, which would be the full rate, when they're only paying you for, a discounted rate for that fuzzy match. So that's another reason it's really important to understand translation memory when you're accepting a job, because if they are giving you a job with, and insisting on discounts for fuzzy matches, and it's reasonable to ask for that. But the first thing you say is, okay, well, you have to provide me, with the memory, and make sure you're using a tool that will show you where those fuzzy matches happen, or where, the match is less than 100, or actually more, if the match is more than, whatever the fuzzy match is set at. And you have to use one of those tools so that you can take advantage of that and then truly, be putting the effort in where they are paying you to put the effort in, if that makes any sense. So fuzzy matches is a good discussion. And if you have questions about that, go ahead and post it below on the YouTube. So the cool thing is, once you really have a tool set up, you can create your own memory. So if you're a Spanish translator, you start doing a lot of jobs, and what you can do is organize your memories based on the content type. So you do a lot of technical translations, plus you do some books, fiction books. And so you could set up two different memories. And the cool thing is you can actually use those memories on different documents for different clients. So this is where the trick is, because sometimes the client will dictate how to use the memory and what's going on there. But once they give you the job and you have your tool set up, you put it in your tool and you can benefit from memory. Like if you have one client with one document and a different client, but it's kind of in the same subject matter or the subject areas, you can actually leverage those memories from the first client on the second client. It's a little bit cheating, but it's not cheating. Nobody's going to grade you. Nobody's looking over your shoulder. This is just a way to make you more efficient. And, that's where you can be really successful as a translator, because you're working really efficiently. You're able to output more words, make deadlines. And ultimately, that is what is going to bring you more business because you're doing excellent performance. And so, this goes back to what I talk about all the time, which is defining those specialties that you want to provide, because by picking areas or subject areas that you are an expert in, one, it's going to help your marketing, right? Because you'll become known for those areas. And two, it's going to allow you to build up content that you can reuse for different clients. So for example, if you have a lot of experience in the healthcare industry, and I come across translators that used to be doctors or nurses or all kinds of professionals many times in their native and home country, and they come to the US, and this is so needed right now. And so to market yourself as a medical translator, not just interpreter, but a translator with, and then you set up terminology, for example, drug names or certain procedures, you'd be able to, kick out so many documents because you're able to leverage those memories and include them. But you have to use a computer-aided translation tool in order to do that. So that's what I wanted to show you guys today. I promised I was going to keep this under 30 minutes because I know we're all busy and hungry. It's lunchtime. Does anybody have any questions they want to talk about here in the group chat? You are welcome to enter a message here. And like I said before, I'm going to be posting this out on YouTube. So if you have questions and you've watched this online, feel free to post them below. But yeah, and so while you're thinking of potential questions, let me go through a couple of announcements for MindLink. First, I guess I should show my face. Hey, we got new bookshelves, but there's no books in them yet, so bear with. But a couple announcements going on with MindLink. One, we're making some changes. If you're already set up in our system, be prepared for some information about how we're going to be getting you in our system, and HR, and some really logistical things. So stay tuned for that, because we're in this process right now as a whole company, and we're evaluating every process we have, and we're trying to ask ourselves, is this the best, most efficient way we can do this? And I hear what people have been telling me, they want to be paid faster. They want to know what's going on. And so we're trying to make that really clear for people. So stay tuned for some information. Please pay attention when you get emails from me. If you're not getting them, let me know, because maybe I'm going into your spam. So you might want to make sure that, that you have added Stacy at mindlinkresources.com as a contact in your system. Okay, so that's one. Two, we are still doing our incubator group, and we had a first meeting. It was awesome. We're looking to add to our incubator team. If you are serious, and I'm looking for people that are really serious about building their business as a translator, a linguist, interpreter, or whatever that is, and not just kind of looking for clients, but really building a business and a name for yourself, join our incubator, because this is going to be a group where we're going to learn from each other and benefit from each other. And so we're looking for more people to be active in that. So you can go to our website, and there's some information about that. And also just keep an eye on our website. We have events coming up this summer. Hopefully we'll have another gathering and all good things. So thanks so much for being part of MindLink. If you are part of MindLink, if you're not part of MindLink, we want you, we need you. Please go to our website and apply today. And if you don't see a job posted for your language, you can join our talent pool, and we'll be happy to talk to you, because you just never know when something's going to come up. So thanks again. Have a lovely rest of your day. Enjoy your lunch, and I'll see you in a month. Take care.